What's going on, E? It's mid-September. Going into the fourth quarter. Wasn't I just telling you Happy New Year? I think I was. Just say Happy New Year to you for one point in time. I think I was doing that. Okay. Got a good one today, so hit that intro.
Welcome to the Where's the Focus podcast. WTF is an entertaining yet educational ride with top guests from every industry. Knowing where your focus goes, your energy flows. Hosted by top-selling author, sought-after speaker, leading coach, and high-level executive in the financial industry, Daniel Manginelli. So, WTF.
WTF. What's going on? I hope you listened to last week because I'm still on my Boston trip. I'm still talking about it was a great trip to Boston. And still thinking of the Boston lessons I've learned. You know, I get a lot of lessons from travel. Well, I guess all my podcasts are relatable stories from me just living life and hoping that you guys can relate to them. So I was getting ready for my event that I was doing, and before I even got dressed, or actually I was just getting dressed and preparing for my talk, I sat down and I looked out the window, and I had a great view of the Charles River. You know about Boston, maybe that you know what the Charles River is. I didn't know it was Charles River. I had to look it up, but it was the Charles River. And just like it looked on the ads that you see for Boston sometimes or for Harvard, there were these shells after shells rowing by. Now you're wondering what, I just sounded really smart. But I had to Google what a crew boat was, and it's called a shell. I think, let me see what Google says. It is a crew boat is interchangeably with a boat. It's perfectly correct to call a rowing or sculling boat a boat. Another term is used for a racing shell or just a shell. Look at that. Well, whatever you'd like to call it, whatever it was, there was a bunch of them, and it looked really cool as they were just going by. It was kind of mesmerizing as they were rowing, and there was 5 people or 6 people in these boats, and I just was mesmerized as I kept looking at them go by. And looking out the window, and they were speeding past, and there's people in the boats, or the shell, working really hard. And I noticed on the boat, or the shell, whatever you want to call it, there was 2 guys in the back, and their oars were in the water, kind of sideways, dragging. I went, what? Why were they sideways? And why are they creating drag for the 6 other rowers that were grinding through? That's kind of not cool. Maybe they're just working out. Why didn't they get in just row? It makes it harder for others. So I went back to Google, King Google, and what they said, in rowing, especially in competitive setting, like the head of the Charles River Regatta in Boston, rowers may sometimes intentionally drag their oars or paddles in the water as a part of a technique known as checking or feathering to adjust the speed and balance of the boat. So then I figured out what are the other reasons, what are the possible reasons that rowers at the back have done this. And, I read some more, and it's controlling the boat speed. Dragging the oars can slow down the boat and reduce the momentum temporarily, especially if the crew needs to adjust their position relative to the other boats on the course. So you're dragging it so you can adjust kind of the position to figure out where you are, or slow yourself down. Stabilizing the boat. If the boat is unbalanced or swaying, rowers have to go back and may dip their oars into the water to help stabilize and keep the boat level. This can be crucial in a narrow, winding section of the course. So it stabilizes the boat. Makes it harder, but stabilizes. Or course correction. In a long-distance race, boats can be very slightly off course due to the current wind or uneven rowing. Oars in the water can act like a rudder-like mechanism to help the coxswain, or rowers in the cockless boat. Maybe like a 5-year-old. Mechanism to help the coxswain or rowers in the cockless boat make a minor directional adjustments. These techniques are often coordinated to ensure the boat's maximum in its rhythm and direction. That makes sense. Except for the coxswain part, but that makes complete sense. So what did I get from all this? You have something that had to be made harder to help them get on track to be easier, right? Controlling your speed in business, you need to sometimes slow down your speed to adjust your position. And it takes time to analyze if you're in the right course towards your goal. To course correct, but still get in line, or stabilizing your actions. We tend to get off balance what we're doing on our daily basis. Sometimes you need to take a breath and start getting into the narrow, and you need to get the balance to get back to what your life and business have to be before you can keep moving forward, just like those oars in the boat. And for sure, course correction. We tend to veer slightly off course due to current circumstances, or just life, or patchy parts of our life. We all need to look and use these thoughts like a rudder, like a mechanism to help steer, to make their directional adjustments. This is every day to navigate what you do, to put your paddles in the water, to navigate you so it's like a rudder. Who would have thought that I get a life experience and change my thoughts by watching a whole bunch of crew teams rowing down the Charles River? Goes to show you that there's purpose in every experience, but you have to be looking for the purpose. This was a good one. The boats row all in the same direction. Everybody goes hard, but sometimes you need to put the paddles in the water to slow down, to steer, to stabilize, just like we do in our lives and our business. Well, thanks my WTFers for going on this brain journey with me. Lots going on in this bean, right? Right up here. As I always say, I'm just not wired right. But we all can be better if we just find ways to be better and look for it. So until next week, my WTFers, as always, have fun and make your dreams come true.